Here you can see some of the damage that the squirrel has done. This was all nicely covered with the mulch, and they come through and they just pick it to pieces. I don't even know what they're really getting at, because I didn't plant anything here yet. Hello and welcome back to Nuwe Blare Homestead. My name is Raul. If you follow my channel closely, you'll know that every year in about April I start up a monthly garden tour. But this year I've not done that. And there's two reasons why. The first one is because I've actually been extremely busy. We got ducks and we've had a few other things on the go this year. So it's just been, I've not had a lot of time to spend in the garden. And the second reason is because I've been fighting a very determined squirrel. So I hopefully have gotten rid of that squirrel now. But it's just meant that I've not had time or been able to spend a huge amount of effort in the garden. But having said that, let's go on a garden tour. I'll show you some of the issues that I've had with the squirrel, and then we can go and look at some of the fruit trees and other things as well, just get a general update on the homestead. Hang tight, let's go. So first on the list is the Melon Patch, and this year we planted out a lot more than we planted out last year. So I've got 2 rows here of squash, various squash, zucchinis, butternut, pumpkin of various types. So they're looking good. They're definitely enjoying it. And again, I've got these cages that Uncle Kelly suggested to me, and they really help just in the beginning to stop rodents and other things, birds and stuff, from eating the seeds and stuff. And here are 2 rows of, here and there are 2 rows of melons. So these are my various melons, watermelons, cantaloupe, other things like that. And they don't grow quite as quickly as the squash do, it seems. And not all of them actually germinated either, unfortunately, but I still have quite a few, and so I'm quite excited. I really enjoyed our watermelon last year, so I'm excited to see what we get this year. And we got a much bigger crop of squash this year than we had last year. Coming into the garden here, we've got, as usual, corn or mealies in these first 2 beds. Again, here you can see it's kind of spotty. We've got also got some bigger corn and some smaller corn. The smaller corn is a replant after the squirrel came through here and just dug a ton of this up. So, and then after replanting, it came again and dug a whole bunch up. So the germination seems really spotty, and that's mostly because we've been battling the stupid squirrel. But I have pots here with potatoes in them, and they are also doing really well. And then this year we are growing some okra as well. So we've got about 20 or so plants that germinated. I'm not sure, they kind of come up little bit by little bit, so we might have more that come up. This bed has not been quite as affected by the squirrel as some of our other beds, but there's some more potatoes, and like I said, here's our other bed of corn and more potatoes over here and over here. And then I planted this bed full of eggplant and peppers, and I only had 3 peppers germinate. So if you're like me, you probably get quite discouraged by these sorts of things, and it's just been such a hard time for me. Here you can see some of the damage that the squirrel has done. This was all nicely covered with the mulch, and they come through and they just pick it to pieces. I don't even know what they're really getting at, because I didn't plant anything here yet. And over here we got some beans. I planted a bunch of beans, again just being dug up, and in some cases I'm noticing some of these beans have actually been eaten as well, so obviously I still have something in here, probably a rat or a mouse, but they're doing okay. They're doing, I didn't actually expect them to do this well, again because of the squirrel. And on this side I have a couple tomato plants. I planted this bed full of tomato plants, none of them germinated. So we were down at the hardware store the other day, and my wife said, well, just get some tomatoes. A few tomatoes is better than none. And I had to agree, so I bought them. I had tomatoes and I just planted them the other day. And then here as well, just destruction by the stupid squirrel. I wanted to plant peas here this year. I had such a great crop of peas last year. I was looking forward to a good crop this year. But every time I came in here, I'd straighten all of this out. I'd set all of this up again, and then squirrel. And it would just come in here and destroy it. And I'm like, well, I can't even plant my peas because they're just going to get dug up and probably eaten. Anyway, and here's some of my brassicas that I planted last year. A little bit of purple broccoli here, and this is actually also over here is also purple broccoli that just went to seed, and I've just left it. The seed pods are actually edible. They're a bit fibrous, but they taste just like broccoli. And there's tons of seed there, and that's all just because there's only been broccoli there. That's all broccoli, so I know I can save those seeds and reuse them. There's a ton of seeds there. Anyway, and more potatoes. So potatoes in all the pots here, as you can see, and they're doing really well. They really enjoy this. And I do have my comfrey still growing, so that's looking really good this year. But when this dies down in winter, I'm going to dig it all up and then start planting it around my orchard to help inhibit some of the grass in the orchard. Talking of orchard, let's go look at the orchard. Starting over here, this is the Nuwe, which is a red-fleshed apple. It's doing pretty well. No blossoms, no flowers on it this year. So, and it doesn't seem to bloom at quite the same time as some of the other ones. So I'm going to get, next year, or the end of this year, I'm going to get some more apple trees that bloom in the same time period as this one. And over here is an Anna apple. This is a very early, same story as the other one. It just there's nothing else that blossoms at the same time, so I need to get another tree that will work for it. But you can see the trees are doing really well. And what's really cool is that some of my apple trees have apples on them. This is a Spitzenberg. And over here we have, what is this one again? Let's see. White limber twig. We have the white limber twig, and the white limber twig has got a ton of nice, beautiful apples on it. There's one there. There's 3 over here, and then there's 3 down here. Fantastic. This one doesn't have any apples on it. This one does. This has got a ton of apples. This is a Lady Williams. Now, if you know anything about apples, you know that apples need cross-pollination. So I can't just have 2 Lady Williams trees and they'll make Lady Williams apples. That's not how apples work. So a Lady Williams crossed with a Jonathan gives you a pink lady or a Crips pink apple. Have you ever seen those in the store? So they were a cross between a Lady Williams and a Jonathan. This is, I think this is my, what's this? Yeah, I thought so, the Ozark Gold. No apples here this year, but we'll see. And that is a Red October, and also no apples over there. So, and then over here, last thing is my mulberry bushes. These ones, they had a hard frost last year and they lost all the, basically that whole tall piece died. But they regrew again from the base of the tree, of the bush this year. So they were having some real trouble with weeds. So I weeded the whole area, put the cardboard down, and that should, you can see already at least, piece of tumbleweed coming through here, and throw that away. But basically that's, the cardboard has really helped, and they're doing so much better this year. All right, moving on to all the new trees. Here's one of my apricots. It's doing really well. And this apricot is also doing really well. And this apricot is doing really well. Very happy. And then I have a peach tree. It's doing pretty well. It's not sure why it kind of died right at the top there, but we can build it out. It's not a problem. And that peach tree is doing really well, and this one is doing really well. And then this cherry tree is doing really well as well. And this one's doing all right. And that one's doing okay. And then this one, I'm not sure what happened. It started leafing out and then it just kind of died. So the bottom part of the trunk there is still alive. So I'm giving it more fertilizer and I'm watering it a lot. So I'm hoping that we get that going again. Otherwise, I'm going to contact Trees of Antiquity and I'll get a credit or a refund or something for that and buy another one next year. And then over here, the pomegranate is doing well. It's it's leafing out nicely. And this is my Fuji that I planted here. It's about 2 years ago now, and it also is covered in apples everywhere. Apples everywhere. So I am very, very happy. Fuji is one of my favorite apples, so I'm really keen to see what this is like. And I did install irrigation here, so this is all automated now as well. Last but not least is my berry patch, and they're doing okay. Those two are doing quite well. That one is doing fine. This one has had a bit of a, you can see it's dead in the front here, but at the back there it's alive. So I think it's been struggling a little bit with the heat, I think. I do eventually want to put up a permanent fence around here. I've just got a temporary fence that I put up, so I'm going to put a permanent fence up, and then what I'll probably do is put shade cloth over the top as well, like in my garden, and that should help a lot here. And this is one of the reasons why I've not had a garden this year. These guys are an incredible amount of work as ducklings, so we had to spend a lot of time every day cleaning brooders and things like that. They make a huge mess. I wouldn't change it for anything in the world. I love these guys. Ducks are so funny, so much personality. But yeah, they took up a lot of our time this year, and I've learned my lesson. don't do things in the spring like ducks and chickens, animals. Do them from summer onward, but spring is busy enough as it is with the garden. I don't need to add ducks to it. Thanks so much for watching this video. I hope you enjoyed just seeing a little bit of what's going on the homestead this year. We've been pretty busy, even if the videos haven't been coming out as often. But things are going relatively well, apart from the disaster that is the squirrel in the garden. But I'm working on that one. Anyway, if you enjoyed this video, please give me a thumbs up on YouTube or a plus on Rumble. Subscribe to the channel if you're not yet subscribed. I'll have a bunch more videos coming out on fruit trees and gardening and ducks and chickens and things like that. Specifically here in Southwest Arizona, it's not always as easy as places like Michigan and Florida even. And people complain, but yeah, try gardening in the desert. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed this video. I will see you on the next one. Bye.